Well, greetings, Boise State fans. Happy Tuesday. I guess it is this week. The days are kind of running together these days. BJ Rains, Bronco Nation News live with you. And it's Tuesday, so we got Jay Tust, sports director over at KTVB. We're putting a wrap on spring ball. Bronco Nation News Live presented by RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. And Jay, we let John Mallory handle all the hot takes with the quarterbacks and things yesterday, so we thought we'd focus a little on the defense today, but just in general, as the spring has now come to a close, what are your general takeaways, I guess, on whether it be the offense, the defense, or this team in general, as they finished up 15th practice yesterday, and now they will next officially not reconvene as a team until that first practice of fall camp around August 1st.
Man, BJ, I don't know if this is a hot take or a cold take. Probably the latter of the two. But like, I have had a really tough time pegging my feelings or emotions about about this team coming out of spring ball. There were a lot of guys out. Still some question marks from last season that just would not get answered during spring ball. Like even you go to the scrimmage, and I know the quarterbacks seem to struggle a little bit. There are a couple drops by the receivers. Wind was an issue with the weather and stuff like that. But even with that being said, the stuff that the offense is doing is pretty vanilla, so you would expect the defense to probably hold the upper hand in a scrimmage like that. Not making excuses for, maybe some of the miscues for the offense, but just kind of calling it is what it is. Like, I don't know about you, but I just kind of had a tough time, really gathering my feelings and, one way or the other about how I feel about this team coming out of spring ball. It was just kind of like the offense in the spring game, just kind of a vanilla spring, I felt like, at least, yeah. And for what we were able to see.
And because we missed about half of it with basketball coverage too. So
and that absolutely probably played a part into it as well. Normally we are there the first, second, third, fourth, fifth spring practice, and that just wasn't the case this time because that gosh darn Boise State men's basketball team was too darn good this spring.
And they did have a lot of guys out too on both sides of the ball, and that you're right. I mean, that did make it a little tough when there's guys out. And you just look at the offense in particular. 2 all-conference linemen out. George Helani didn't get a carry in the spring game to keep him safe. You didn't have Caples and Bowens. You didn't have Riley Smith, and then you throw on top of 4 or 5 of your offensive starters or key players are out. Oh, yeah, and by the way, we're going to run a really vanilla spring game offense in a 20-mile-an-hour wind. And then you've got people saying Hank Bachmeier should be benched after that. I mean, it's really hard. And, not making excuses. It wasn't a great offensive performance. But, again, when you have to look at the factors as to why it wasn't a great performance.
Exactly. And that's why you just listed a lot of the guys that were out. I mean, we are talking about guys, especially on the offensive side of the ball, that are going to be highly impactful players in this offense. Maybe none more so than a George Helani, but also those 3 offensive linemen up front. So I guess what I'm saying is I could force a take and just give you something, but I don't know if I would fully believe it. I just don't know how I can give you a take on the offensive line right now when we know that a guy like the Washington State transfer is probably going to start at right tackle for this team. I mean, he was impressive when he was able to go, but same about John Ojukwu, and even a guy like Kekani Okola Gonzalez, the center, he's just kind of coming back from all of this stuff. So I could give you a take, but I just feel like I would be forcing a take, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I will say this. I think fans should be very excited about George Helani this upcoming season. And again, probably not that surprising of a take, but talking with the coaches, and they're going to place extra emphasis this year on keeping that guy healthy. And Tim Plow told us that, last week when we talked with him. I mean, a big part of their plan during game preparation and all that stuff this year is going to be making sure that 2-4 is available to roll on Saturdays this fall.
Jen Walters chiming in, can't judge this team in April. It is tough. And again, you had a 20-mile-an-hour wind, which is affecting things as well. But with that said, there were some things on the defensive side where I want to spend most of this time, Jay, that, I think we all along thought the defense would be the better team in the spring. It usually is that way, especially early in the spring. And just with the amount of talent coming back on this defense, I mean, you just start at the safety position and go down the line from there. Now, they were without some key guys as well on defense. Shane Irwin didn't play. Scott Matlock didn't play, who we're actually going to hear from. He talked after the spring game anyway. So they had some key guys out, but you look at what that defense did, 3 interceptions in that game, which was really nice to see. Oladipo, Skinner, and Jalen Clark all had interceptions. There were 3 sacks as well. Hassanin had one, Ty Tanner, and then Braxton Feely had a sack.
Right.
So, I mean, I think we all think this defense has a chance to be pretty darn good this year. When you got the word that both safeties were coming back, I mean, that's going to be one of the better safety tandems on the West Coast, if not in the country this year. When you look at just the combination of experience and skill and athleticism and size, you're going to find two safeties like that in many places around the country probably this year. And so I think there's a little bit of question, who steps up. Is Brandon Hawkins ready to replace Riley Wimpy at linebacker? The corner position, I think, still has a little bit of question marks. Markel Reed was out with an injury this spring. We heard great things about Caleb Biggers, Bowling Green transfer, who, at times last year played okay, but I don't think played amazing by any means last year, getting his feet wet. And then along that D-line, I think a lot of people expect that to be a strength for this team. So defensively, Jay, where are you kind of at big picture defensively coming out of the spring?
It's so funny. Head coaches don't often tip their hands, but one thing that Andy Avalos told us last week was that George Holani probably wasn't going to play in the scrimmage because he's had enough of those types of reps that he doesn't really need those types of reps. There are other guys that need those reps. So when you talk about Shane Irwin, Scott Matlock, those guys not necessarily being part of the scrimmage, like it's nothing to worry about. The younger guys who you also just listed off that haven't had a ton of those types of reps were able to kind of shine in front of Bronco Nation on Saturday. So it certainly seems like this defense is going to be deeper than it was last year. I'm going to, in terms of my level of confidence, I feel pretty good about the secondary. I feel that I would place the defensive line after those guys. And then one position that I would say is going to have to certainly continue to grow is that linebacker spot. And, Bronco Nation and the coaches and everybody that, follows and covers or cheers for that team was spoiled in the Leighton Vander Esch days because that guy was superhuman playing in the middle of that defense. But ever since he left, it doesn't really seem like they've had that same pop from the linebacker position, and even kind of focusing more specifically on that edge position, which used to be the stud position. There were times last year where Isaiah Banya flashed and showed that he can get after the quarterback a little bit, but overall, the level of consistency from that specific spot, which is a game-changing spot in this defense, it wasn't really there, and it certainly didn't match the level of performance of the days of Kamale Correa and Curtis Weaver and those guys who were just, double-digit sack dudes coming off the edge that really changed the game for Boise State on defense. So, I think that as we approach fall camp, which is obviously a little ways away, by the time that rolls around, definitely going to be focusing on that edge spot and that linebacker spot because I do feel pretty darn good about the secondary and right behind them, I feel good about the defensive line too.
If you're watching on YouTube, we're 24 YouTube subscribers away from 1,000. So go ahead and like that if you can. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You cannot comment through Twitter for some reason. I don't know what the reason is there. So if you're watching this on Twitter, go watch us on YouTube or Facebook, and then you can comment, and we'll see your question that way. We're going to cut it a little short today. We got some scheduling stuff going on, so I do need to get to a couple of our graphics here and things real quick. Jay, sign up now. Sign-ups are open for the Bronco Nation News Golf Tournament. It's on June 3rd out at Timberstone Golf Course. That's about, 6-7 weeks away now. It's starting to creep up on us here. We do have foursomes available. If you're a subscriber of Bronco Nation News, you get a little bit of a discount. But it's going to be a great day. We're going to have Tin Roof Tacos out there passing out free tacos. We're going to have Chef Wally cooking up some food, free, beer and seltzers on the course. You get to meet some cool people. Coach Leon Rice will be out there. Golf coaches. You got Coach Duryea, Coach Burns. Jay Tust is going to be playing. Mike Prater. John Mallory will be out there. KTIK is going to be doing their Idaho Sports Talk show out there from the course. So sign up now. Don't wait because it's going to fill up. So BroncoNationNews.com. There's a golf tab. You can click golf tournament, BroncoNationNews.com. And then you can also email me, Rains@BroncoNationNews.com. Just Rains, RAINS at BroncoNationNews.com. Lithia Ford's going to be giving away a hole-in-one, giving away a car. You can win a Ford Escape 2022 if you can get a hole-in-one on one of the holes as well. So we're raising money for the Idaho Youth Sports Commission for some other great causes as well as helping us here at Bronco Nation News. So if you can, come join us and play. If you have a raffle item or something you think you're willing to donate, that'd be great as well. Hit us up, Rains at BroncoNationNews.com. And I mentioned Lithia Ford of Boise. We appreciate their support. That newer used car truck, check them out, LithiaFordBoise.com. They are proud sponsors of Boise State Athletics and as well as us here at Bronco Nation News. So we appreciate Jim Sturk and the folks out at Lithia Ford for sponsoring our pre- and post-game shows, which we won't be having for a little while here. So we appreciate Lithia Ford of Boise for their support of Bronco Nation News. And Jay, we got some comments coming in. We got Carter Davis saying Oladipo believes going to be the nickel starter. We talked to Oladipo. He had the 2 picks. What is it in the UTEP game earlier this year? And then, we just talked to him this week, and then he had a pick in the scrimmage. So I do think, as a true sophomore coming in, I think there's some pretty high hopes for Oladipo.
Yeah, and I mean, he's technically a safety, but he is, as you mentioned earlier, BJ, Boise State has 2 of the best safeties, not only in the Mountain West, but maybe in the country, coming back in J.L. Skinner and Tyreek Jones. So this is Boise State trying to find a way to get their best dudes on the field, and that might mean Oladipo playing that nickel spot. It certainly seems like he would that not only does he fit that position, but that position fits him. I mean, he's a playmaker. And you remember this spring scrimmage, he had an interception. Last fall scrimmage, I believe he had an interception, 2 picks against UTEP. And this is all in very limited, playing time and opportunities. So, and on top of that, man, that kid was a joy to talk to last week. Boise State will miss Kekala Kaniho, no doubt about it. The good news for us, BJ, is that we will miss Kekala, but we're able to replace him in terms of an interview because Shea Oladipo was fantastic, man. He was thorough. He was funny. Enjoyed talking to him for the first time since he's been on campus at Boise State the other week.
We got 5 comments here, and 4 of them are about Tim Plow and Bachmeier. So I guess not a huge surprise. We'll get to those in a second. But just to finish up the defense here, Jay, some of the newcomers, whether it's George Tarlas or Cortez Hogans, some of the newcomers. I know you mentioned Beresford on the offensive side, but defensively, we all know about the Skinners of the world and the Zeke Noahs and the Scott Matlocks. I mean, are there any other guys that either you heard a lot about this spring or you expect to have big roles that maybe aren't the household names yet?
I mean, I guess I keep stealing your names, but I'm really looking at that edge position, and not only I guess specifically the edge position, but that DN position. Talking with Spencer Danielson last week, he said that when they're good, this team is able to create those edges, and all of a sudden you cut the field in the third versus not establishing those edges, and now you have to defend all 53 wide and however many deep, and so. Boise State's going to have to do a better job of rushing the passer this year, and I know that that'll be a focal point for Andy Avalos and his defense, and same with Spencer Danielson. And so those are the guys that are going to have to be game changers coming up this fall. And it just seems like they have more depth. When Shane Irwin gets tired, they roll George Tarlas out there, or vice versa, and it just seems like they might have the ability to have a little more depth this year. And a guy we haven't mentioned that finally started to come on after a significant injury last year was Dimitri Washington. It took him a little while to get going, and understandably so, but we'll see how he fits in on this defense and how he gets going. But I just think that focusing on whether it be defensive end or that edge position and seeing how those guys can really help this defense grow and excel, because once again, I'm just really not worried about the secondary. I think they got talent. I think they got depth.
Yeah, Devin Wright as well, the JUCO transfer from Mississippi. I know that he's made some plays late. Carter Davis saying, don't forget about Misa, the 4-star linebacker, when he gets here this summer. That maybe he isn't getting the billing that he deserves to this point. I'm not sleeping either on the Utah State DB Jared Reed. He was a guy that started games at Utah State, has some experience, came in last year and tore his ACL or his Achilles or something, and never played all year, and people kind of forgot about him. But they gave him a extra spot as one of the 85 to come back again this year as a super senior. That means they think something of him. Right. And so I'm not giving up on him. I'm not saying he's going to be a starter, but I think Reed needs to be in that cornerback mix.
Well, that's what I mean. You look at Biggers, you look at Reed, you look at
Kaniho.
Tyree. Kaniho, yeah, the younger Kaniho. I mean, they're pretty deep and talented at that cornerback spot. So I'm just not really too worried about the secondary. I think there's going to be high level of competition there. An injury or two seems more sustainable this year, and I'm just not really too too worried about that spot. The one thing I will say about Misa, like despite the fact he's one of the highest rated recruits in program history, asking a kid to come in midsummer and be ready to roll in a highly impactful, spot for this Boise State defense, he might be able to do it. I'm just going to say that's probably not like super realistic this year. But, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe he is that good. Maybe he can process things that fast and handle it all and be a plug-and-play dude. If he can be as a true freshman, as a backer, midsummer enrollee, whoa.
Hey, the blueandorange.store.com and get all your new Boise State gear, all that Nike gear, gear up with the tank tops and all the stuff for the spring and summer here. You can go into the Boise Town Square Mall as well if you're here in town. But if you're out of town, they can ship it and deliver to you. And they got the daily deals, the flash sales, the blueandorangestore.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Our Bronco Nation News has switched and is using ICCU now for the business accounts, for our personal accounts, for the Rains family. And we're couldn't be happier. The app is so easy to use. The mobile check depositing, all the great stuff there. So whether it's a personal or business banking needs, check them out, ICCU.com. And again, our title sponsor, we couldn't do the show, couldn't do Bronco Nation News without them, the official paint and coatings company at Boise State Athletics, rowpaint.com. Check them out online, roepaint.com. They've done some work on my basement, or not my basement, my patio, my garage. If I had a basement, they'd do work on it, but they do great stuff, and we appreciate their help and support. And check them out. It's a perfect time to spruce up that garage or that back cement patio at rowpaint.com. We got about 3 minutes left, Jay, here. We got some scheduling stuff to get to. We got to be out of here around 9:10, but I do want to get to the offensive comments here, and I guess I'll just put all the comments one by one, and then you can react to them. Okay. Here we've got Nate Staley really hoping this Tim Plow complicated offense shows some fruit this fall. If not, the seat is going to be mighty warm. We've got hearing Hank in an interview say he's got a lot on his plate about 5 times is not exactly comforting. According to him, we've got our friend Mark Moss chiming in. It's all good stuff, but we all know the real question is Plow our OC this time next year. If the answer is yes, then we won 10-plus games. If not, this is more from the same from last year. You got Perry saying Tim Plow did admit he was trying to force things early last season. In general, year 2 of the Tim Plow offense, year 4 of Hank Bachmeier as a starter. Where are you on both of those, Jay?
Man, all good comments. The probably, I'm not gonna lie, probably the most accurate one is if everything is in place at this time next year, probably does mean the Boise State had a 10-win season and everything is going as originally planned. But if not, then we'll not. So
is Tim Plow on the hot seat? Is Tim Plow on the hot seat this year? Oh man,
probably. I think that everybody knows that too. It is what it is, man. Like I think that everybody would admit they didn't meet expectations on offense last year, and George Halani wasn't available. When he was, he definitely showed that this offense can be more productive and efficient. I think the thing that I took away from talking with Tim Plow last week, though, BJ, was the fact that he has really grown, it seems like, as a play caller and what he wants to do on offense. I remember this time a year ago, everybody wants to cling to half 100 and stuff like that. But more so than that was the tempo he wanted to operate at. And everything was basically about going as fast as you can because that's what he wanted to do, and that's what he did at UC Davis. But, last year was a year of growth. When you're injured on offense and maybe don't have some pieces on defense, you have to be able to adjust on the fly. And you have to be able to play at different tempos. And that's certainly something that he took away from last year, and he says that they're way better at this year. And I think that, again, I think that what happened in the spring scrimmage is going to be fresh, and that's what it was everybody's one chance to really see this team, and so they'll be judged heavily off that. But I don't know if that is probably the most accurate way to judge their growth at this point in time compared to how they were last fall, if that makes sense. I will say this, though. Big year for Hank Bachmeier coming up, man. Big year for Hank coming up. And as a senior, I mean, he will need to take that leap to be better. I mean, it just is what it is. Like, Hank's been good at times, but he's been inconsistent at other times, and he's admitted that. He says every play. You can't play good for 3 quarters and have a bad quarter somewhere in between. And so he's going to eliminate all those. He's going to try to eliminate all that negativity or inconsistency. And and hopefully he can string together more high-level performances like, again, we've seen glimpses of, but for super long periods of time, I don't know if he's been able to quite display yet.
Well, Jay, we kind of buried the lead here. We can say that we have formally agreed, I guess verbally agreed to a contract extension with Jay Tust here. So, Jay, looking forward to keeping this going over the summer, hopefully into football season, but at least for the summer, we're going to try to continue this with you on Tuesdays and Fridays. And we got all kinds of off-season questions and position previews and countdowns and all kinds of stuff. So we'll be doing this Tuesdays and Fridays moving forward with you. We're going to hear from Scott Matlock in a second, but I know you got some things to attend to. So we appreciate your time today, man. And we'll do this again on Friday, and then we'll keep this thing going, man, the rest of the spring and summer.
Well, I think it's actually still kind of winter, DJ.
My kid's baseball game yesterday, it was snowing during the game. It was pretty crazy.
Unbelievable.
But thanks, man. Appreciate your time.
Friday, brother.
Glad to have you on board here with Bronco Nation News, and we really appreciate it, man.
Sounds good.
There he is, Jay Tust, KTVB. We're going to hear from Scott Matlock, Boise State defensive end, in just a second, so don't go anywhere. Scott Matlock talked after the spring game. We got a couple of comments still rolling in that we can get to here as well. Nate Staley saying, rooting for Plow to have a breakthrough this season. Haven't closed the book on him yet. Carter saying the half 100 thing was a mistake for him to say, a mistake for us to take seriously. Yeah, it was. I mean, it sounded great, right? It sounded great at the time, saying that they're going to come in here and try to not look at the scoreboard until they get to 50 points a game, which I think happened, one time last year. Yeah, I mean, it certainly is something that if he could take back, he might. Now, there was more of a meaning to it. They had a player on their team that had passed away at one of his previous stops, and there was something to that he was trying to, get folks to, remember him. And there's more of a story to it than just trying to score 50, and I hope folks do remember that. But, the offense, Tim Plow has to show something this year. Hank Bachmeier, it's your 4-year starter, man. It's time to step up and play like an all-Mountain West, all-caliber, league QB. And if both those things happen and they get strong quarterback play and Hank Bachmeier stays healthy and I agree with Mark Moss. If that happens, they probably win 10-plus games. If they don't, then, you got some changes coming back. I mean, don't forget, Hank Bachmeier actually has 2 years of eligibility left. So he's a senior, and he's a 4-year starter, but he could be the rare 5-year starter next year if he wants to come back due to COVID. I think the interesting thing is with Taylon Green. I mean, does Taylon Green want to sit around for 2 more years? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying they push Hank Bachmeier out, but if Hank Bachmeier wants to come back in 2023, do you take a 5-year starter? I think you have to if he had a productive year, but I don't know what that means for Taylon Green's future. I don't know if he wants to sit on the bench another year with now the transfer portal where you don't have to sit out and things like that. I think there's a lot of interesting things there when you think of it that way. Scott Matlock, the Boise State defensive end, we're going to hear from him in just a second. But first, I want to tell you about Boise Dentistry Co. Dr. Chris Meinert. I'm actually heading there here in a week or so. BoiseDentistryCo.com. If you're looking for a new dentist, it's a brand new, buildings, all the highest technology locations across the Treasure Valley. Dr. Meinert grew up in Eagle, went to Eagle High School, and has been doing a great job. And so our family all made the switch. Those are my kids there on the screen, and we're very happy we did. So check them out. If you're looking for a new dentist, you can talk BSU, basketball, football while you're getting work done. So check them out, BoiseDentistryCo.com. Transportation compliance service. If you're looking to get into the trucking industry as well, 1,000 people a day are becoming truck drivers. It's a booming industry right now. So check them out, transcompservice.com. They can help you get all the permits and things filled out and help you getting on the road, towing that first load as soon as possible. And United Commercial Insurance, they make business insurance easy. So 44 states across the country, they can write a policy for you. So if you think you have good insurance, if you're a business owner, it doesn't hurt. Give them a call. See if you can get a better rate. 229-8222 and check them out. Again, all the different policies and liability insurance. They can take care of all your insurance if you're a business owner. And again, you may think you have good business insurance. Support a local company. They're big Boise State fans. Check them out. Give them a call and just see. And you might be surprised if they can give you a better rate. And last but not least, Ridley's Family Markets. ShopRidleys.com. We appreciate their support at Bronco Nation News. For a couple of years now, they've been supporting me personally. So really appreciate their support. ShopRidleys.com, 13 locations across the state. They got the at-home shopping, the Skip app, the home delivery, all that great stuff. So think local, think Ridley's Family Markets. Next time you're heading out to the grocery store, I frequent that Cuno location often. So appreciate Ridley's Family Markets. Let's hear from Scott Matlock, the Boise State defensive tackle. The wind was a little bad, so I apologize. At times, the wind is not great on this. So there's a couple seconds where it's hard to hear him. But here's a couple minutes after the spring game. Scott Matlock, now he did not play in the spring game. He's perfectly healthy. He's fine. They just didn't see a need to have him out there taking extra reps. They want to make sure he's healthy going into the summer. But after the game, he kind of wrapped up the spring for the defense.
In a front row seat, what did you see out of the D-line today?
I saw, our guys battle today. They pushed through, some adversity being, maybe not a lot of rotation, but, they played hard. They did their best to do their job well, and that's all you can ask for is to go out there and do your best.
Scott, can you take a step forward if you don't mind? I'm sorry.
No problem.
The wind.
Yeah, the wind. Yeah, I'll give you that.
So a lot of snaps for Ahmed Hassani, a lot from Braxton Feely, a lot from Divine Obichari. How important are those snaps to these guys this time of year?
Yeah, that's super important, because this time of the year is crucial for developing and, growing your skills and just, growing as a person, as a player. And, those reps were really key for them going into fall camp. Use this and what they're doing for spring as a stepping stone. And in fall camp, you take what you did well, improve those things, and what you need to grow in, work on that. And just a day-by-day process. So it was good for them to be out there and get those reps.
I know some of the guys were out with a young group, but on the offensive line, giving you guys battles this spring, what do you think of the O-line?
Yeah, the O-line battle as well. They're getting better every day. They're pushing us. We're pushing them. That's really awesome to see from a player's perspective. Iron sharpens iron. And, we go hard in practice and, we're banging, scrapping, but at the end of the day, when it's all over, we clap each other up and we know that we got each other better.
What's it like going up against Cade Bears for the Washington State transfer?
Yeah, he's a very good player. He's very technically sound, has great fundamentals, and comes in every day with a great mindset, a great attitude to get better. And he's just a blue collar guy. Works hard, doesn't let anything affect him, and just does his thing. Very good player.
Scott, what did you like most about what your defense did this spring?
I thought we did a good job of responding. I think that's something that we made an emphasis coming off of last year that we wanted to improve. Whether something happened in practice, something didn't go our way, how are we going to respond, the next play, the next series, whatever it may be. And that's something that I was proud of our defense for doing.
I know you guys have one more practice, I guess technically Monday, but as a team leader, what do you need to do this summer and just in the off season until you guys come back for fall camp to make sure you guys are ready to go?
Yeah, we'll come in Monday, we'll clean it up, we'll learn, we'll grow, we'll self-scout, we'll review, and each individual needs to take the time to kind of self-analysis, like what they need to get better at, and in the summer when it comes to the training, the workouts, the runs, have that purpose and that fuel to kind of push you through, on days you maybe not want to do it. So it's going to be a day-by-day thing, and it's going to take a lot of work, but just keep working hard every day.
How motivated is this team heading into the next few months, just with whether it was a 7-5 or whatever? Just how motivated are you guys for the next season here?
Yeah, I think that this is a new year, new team, new season. So we don't really, me personally, I don't think a lot about last season. As far as like record or obviously how I did individually, I can learn from it and that. But I think as a team, we're very motivated and we're grinding. We're out here having fun. We're competing. We're getting each other better. And it's fun to watch.
Well, there he is, Scott Matlock. It's fun to watch. They're motivated. He's competing. And again, he didn't play in the spring game, but really no need to play him, to be honest with you. He's a team leader, one of the best players on defense, one of the best players really probably on the West Coast in terms of the D-line. And what a story with Scott Matlock, too, on the personal side. And I've had a chance to get to know him over the years, going back to high school, Homedale High School, and I was at the Idaho Press. He was the Idaho Press Inspirational Athlete of the Year. Lost both his parents at a young age. Dad had cancer and lost him when he was in middle school or even less. And then also around the same time, a couple years later, his mom, he had a heart disease problem and basically woke up one morning and found his mom on the couch and she had passed away overnight. And just to be without both your parents at a young age is just impossible to fathom. And moved in with a foster family out in Homedale and really has gotten his life on track. And now to see that he's a guy that might get drafted into the NFL a year from now is pretty cool. And it's a great story for Scott Matlock, a local kid, and looking forward to seeing what he can do this year and looking forward to seeing what this whole defense can do this year. I think this defense has a chance to be really, really, really good, and looking forward to seeing that come this fall. Hey, if you're on YouTube or if you're watching this elsewhere, it's real easy. Just go to youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. We're trying to get to 1,000 YouTube subscribers, so we'd really appreciate the help. We're like 25 away. Once you get to 1,000, you show up in the searches and things, so it helps us if we can get to 1,000, but it also helps you because we post all the press conference video, all the practice highlights, all the shows are there, so you don't have to be on Twitter or social media to see when we post a video. If you're a subscriber on YouTube, you can get notified when a new video is posted, and so you just go to youtube.com/Bronco Nation News, click the subscribe button, click like on this video as well if you can. That helps us out. And again, we really would appreciate it because, we're almost to 1,000. We're like 24 away. When we get there, we're going to give away a free round of golf to Timberstone Golf Course. I've got a free round of golf once we get to 1,000 for a couple lucky subscribers. We'll give it away on a future show. But playtimberstone.com is Timberstone's website. Best greens in the valley. It's a great course. I know folks say, oh, it's out in Caldwell. It's really not that far. It's about 30 minutes from the Flying Y. It's one of the best courses in the valley. It's been voted the best course in the valley by numerous publications in recent years. So check them out. Timberstone Golf Course. Kelly Christensen and his group do a phenomenal job out there. Tad Holloway, the head pro. And so we're really looking forward to continuing our partnership with them. You'll probably see me out there some this spring and summer. So let me know if you want to play around. I'll gladly play with some listeners, and we got some half-off coupons we can use as well. But once we get to 1,000, we'll be giving away a free round at Timberstone. So we were looking forward to getting there and looking forward to Timberstone hosting our golf tournament on June 3rd. The Bronco Nation News Golf Tournament, June 3rd at Timberstone. As I said earlier, foursomes are still available. Some whole sponsorships are still available. This is going to be a pretty cool who's who tournament of local celebrities, local folks involved with the sports scene here. So whether it be Coach Leon Rice, whether it be Tim Duryea, Mike Burns, you got Mike Prater, Jay Tust, Matt Boucher's playing, Nick Duncan's going to be out there, Brian King, working on some other folks as well. We got the golf coaches, Kalen Downs on the women's side, Dan Potter on the men's side. It's going to be a lot of fun, so I'm really looking forward to it. We got Tin Roof Tacos as our newest sponsor. They're going to be out there delivering some tacos to you at one of the holes, so you can have some beverages, have some tacos. Chef Wally's going to be out there cooking up some great food as well. We're going to have a Q&A after the round with some of our special guests while we're having lunch. And so you get 2 meals, you get snacks, drinks. You get a great time. You get 18 holes of golf at one of the best courses in the valley. So don't miss out. Space is going to be limited for this. So again, email me at rains@bronconationnews.com. That's just RAINS @bronconationnews.com. You can also get more information. Go to bronconationnews.com and then click the golf tournament tab at the top, and that has all the information you need. So where this thing's going to sell out. So jump in now while you can. And again, if you're a local business and you want to potentially sponsor a hole or one of our other sponsorship packages, we would love to have you. And again, we're dotting the I's, crossing the T with Tin Roof Tacos, and we'll officially announce that here in the near future. But I met with them last week, and they're very excited to jump on board for this tournament. So it's going to be an awesome time, June 3rd, but sign up now before we run out of spots. And one more thing, if you won the bracket challenge, by the way, we've got the gift cards, but unfortunately ESPN, I can't read the email. I can't contact the winners. So if you won or got first, second, or third, if you are Meddlesome and Quarrelsome was the name of the winner, Daddy O, or None Better 991. If you're None Better 991, Daddy O, which is Apollyon 23, or Meddlesome and Quarrelsome are the names of the brackets here. If that's you or you know the person that got first, second, or third in our bracket challenge at ESPN, please reach out to me or have them reach out to me, Rains at bronconationnews.com, or hit me up on social media. We have your gift cards. We've got first place, $100 to the Blue and Orange store. Second place got $50. Third place got $25. So we've got some nice prizes to the Blue and Orange store. We appreciate the Blue and Orange store. Again, to Boise Town Square Mall, the blueandorange.store.com for their support and giving us the gift cards. But I can't give them to the winners because I don't know how to contact them. So, again, if you are one of the winners or you know the winners, Meddlesome and Quarrelsome, Daddy O, Apollyon 23, None Better 991, None Better 99. If any of that rings the bell to you in terms of your bracket name or your username on ESPN, or you know who won, have them reach out to me, please, because we have their gift cards for the winners. So appreciate everybody for checking us out. And again, if you didn't know, we have formally agreed with Jay and with Prater and with Johnny to keep this thing going all summer. So we'll have daily shows all summer moving forward. We got Johnny on Mondays. We got Tust on Tuesdays and Fridays, Prater on Thursdays, and we're working on some kind of rotating guests on Wednesdays. Tomorrow, Jeremiah Dickey, Boise State's athletic director, is going to join us. I recorded an interview with him last Friday after the announcement of the new facilities, Master Olympic Village type thing, the Athletes Village. So we'll hear from Jeremiah Dickey tomorrow. And so looking forward to that as well. And then Prater will be here on Thursday. So again, 9 a.m. Every day moving forward. This is going to become a regular thing. And again, if you don't subscribe on YouTube, please do. If you don't subscribe to the podcast, at the end of each show, this goes up on what is it? iTunes, and there's a couple other ones as well. Spotify and Amazon Music are the three we have right now. Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple iTunes. So check those out, and then you can this audio version gets posted, and then you can listen to it as an audio podcast if you're not available to listen to the live version each week. So appreciate all of our great sponsors. Appreciate you guys for checking this out. Hope to see some of you signing up for the golf tournament, and looking forward to meeting you out there. So appreciate everything you guys do to keep this dream going here at BroncoNationNews.com. And again, I know spring ball's over, but we got a lot of things planned moving forward. We'll still be doing interviews with players and coaches. We'll still be doing analysis. We're going to start a 2-week off-season review of the basketball team next Monday, and then we'll get into football, and we got a lot of stuff planned moving forward. So appreciate all of you for checking us out and giving us a shot here at Bronco Nation News. And we'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. with Jeremiah Dickey, the athletic director at Boise State, here at Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.
At ICCU, to make a difference, it takes just one connection. A friendly face, an open ear, a helping hand. And then something amazing happens. We find out that we're better together. This is what Idaho Central does in our communities every day. We help our members with the small things and big dreams. This is what believing in you is all about. Idaho Central Credit Union, looking after your daily balance.